Baking with Barb, WI for Wisconsin, is on the air. How are you today? I hope everybody is having a wonderful day. The sun is out. You know, it's hasn't been out for a long time. Is this a good thing we have to enjoy and get some energy from that sun as much as we can? It's good to be back with you after my shopping trip a couple days ago, and I will tell you that after viewing the shopping trip video myself, I thought, well, maybe I should fix myself up a little bit today. So I did make an effort, kind of curled my hair, put a little makeup on. I don't know if you can see that, but the necklace, you got to try. You have to keep up and try as much as you can. So we're going to chat just a little bit today before we get started. Because as I think both of my parents said, I can't remember if they each did, but you never ever want to wear out your welcome. So don't want this to be too long. I know YouTube doesn't like long videos, and I have an issue trying to get them on, so we'll keep this kind of short and sweet. Some opinions that I have received I wanted to share with you from various people on these videos. My beloved sister Dixie, who's the hummingbird reference, as is my girlfriend in Albuquerque, she thinks I've totally lost my mind. My very, very good friend, dear friend Mary, she thinks the quarantine has gotten to me. And my daughter-in-law suspects that I have been smoking that funny weed, that green weed, which is certainly not true. These lungs are as virgin as they can be. Never a cigarette, no smoke, no nothing. And my friend Cindy agrees with all of them on it. And my husband probably also will concur, because I just sent him out. I said, go someplace, get in your truck, go for a ride. I don't want him in here when I'm doing these videos. That's just all there is to it. I want no interruption, and I want to concentrate on my tips and my baking. Oh, there's something that I wanted to show you as a hobby and to clear my brain, because I do have a business. To clear my brain, I do some paint by numbers. I wanted to show you because I just finished one. My daughter-in-law and son gave this to me for Christmas. Isn't that pretty? Hydrangeas. This is beautiful. So what I do, I can't draw. I don't have an artistic bone in my body, so I do them. And then when I'm done, then I go in and I smudge them and I blend them and I put some glitter on them and everything. And it's very, very enjoyable. So that's something for you to think about when you get terribly, terribly bored. So today we have two projects. Oh, did you notice I have a crown on? Why, you ask? Why does Barb from Northern Wisconsin have a crown on today? Well, I will tell you why. My very good friends, Tom and Mary is the one that thinks the quarantine has gotten to me, have a beautiful little daughter named Molly, and she had her 3rd birthday at the beginning of April. And of course they couldn't do too much, so Mary had a whole bunch of toys and things, and she had a crown, a little birthday crown for 3-year-old Molly. Well, we FaceTimed a couple weeks after the birthday, and Molly still had her birthday crown on. So I asked Mary, I said, so Molly still has her crown on, her birthday crown. And Mary says something like, well, yeah, she wears it every day. She plays with it, assuming it made her feel good and it was fun and kind of a treat. So I thought, well, you know what? If a 3-year-old can have a crown and make her feel good and happy and special, why can't I? So I purchased this specifically for this program. No, I was not a queen, and no, it's not an old one. My older sister was a queen, not Dixie, but my older sister was. Dixie is a queen of plants, I have to tell you. That's my beeper oven going off for sugar cookies. Dixie is the queen of plants. Any questions that I've ever had on what is this? Is this a weed? What does this look like? Send her a picture. She knows everything about plants. She's so smart. So today we're going to do 2 things. We are going to make the sugar cookie recipe that I talked about in regard to following directions, and maybe unlike a well-known Southern cook who says y'all a lot, I make it often. But first we are going to show you how to chop nuts. You may recall that my favorite nut in the world is a pecan. I always have to have pecans, but I like to have them crushed, even a little bit more so than what you can get in the store. So this is how you do it. Now, many of you probably say, oh my goodness, Barb, I know how to do this. I've been doing this for years. Well, maybe you have, maybe you haven't. Maybe you can learn a little bit something today. Maybe some of our younger folks can learn. This is very, very simple. You get a little cutting board out here and you put some pecans down and you put them in a row. Put them in the very middle in a row. See that? And no, I don't have my tripod yet for my phone. And I apologize for doing this vertically rather than horizontally, but it wasn't going to work if I did horizontally. So we're just going to have to cope for now, okay? Okay. So, sharp knife, a big knife, a straight knife, not serrated, not short, not small, but a big knife that's sharp that has the straight blade on the bottom. And then you position the tip of the knife and put your 2 fingers on it and then just rotate. Do not move the tip of the knife or your fingers, and then you just rotate back and forth like that. Then you put them back in a row a little bit. Take a separate section and start all over again. Pivot from the tip all over. It just works so slick. One last time, we'll put it in a row. Go down to the end where I missed a few, and you can lift it up, obviously, if you need to, but pivot from the tip, keep your fingers on it firmly, and then you're done. How simple is that? How do I know that, you may wonder? I learned it in home ec in high school. I love these little bendy cutting boards because then I can, bend them and they go right into the pecan container. How easy is that? This is what I spilled the other day. Something was in front of it, I spilled it. This is when I said I spilled my nuts. Well, I've got more. So now we are going to make the sugar cookies. Have a pan already, ungreased pan. Set your oven for 350 degrees. And the time, depending on your oven, how hot it gets, 11 to 14 minutes is the range. My recipe perhaps is a little simpler than most. But again, these days, you do what you can, what's fun, what doesn't take a whole lot of mental capability or ability, whichever you prefer. So, this is what you start with. Right there. See that? That little doughboy? That means it's Pillsbury. They're the best. You can get brands that are different than this, but the doughboy, you have to look for the doughboy. Okay. The knife. First of all, you have to cut off the end. Get that knife in there. Cut that off. And then very carefully with a knife. We don't want any accidents these days because you can't go to the emergency room if you cut your finger. You have to be really, really sick. You have to have a fever. So be very careful with this. I just slid it down the side, cut that other end off. There we go. And peel it off. Isn't that simple? Why go to all that nonsense of flour and sugar and everything when you don't have to? Now, you slice them. Get the pan ready. Easiest if you have a very thin knife. This is almost like a fish cleaning knife. What do you call those? Fillet knives? It should be thin. See how thin that is? You can see me through there. And sharp. The recommended is about a 1/2 inch slice. Like so. I put 3 across. And then I'll fill the pan up. Ooh, that's a nice 1/2 inch. And I'll finish this off camera. What I do for a finishing touch on that is if you have a glass or a cup or anything with kind of a unique bottom on it for a little decoration, this needs to be a little moist, so just kind of stick it on your roll of cookies or something, and then put it in a dish of sugar, and then just lightly on top of each one, press it, and you have a little sugar on top of there. Hey, they're called sugar cookies. Why don't we add a little bit more? I see no reason. I'm going to put these in the oven now. I'll fill my tray, my pan. I'm going to put these in the oven, and then when they come out, I'm going to come back on so that you can see them. And I'm also going to have a comment that Mary has suggested to me about the hummingbird nectar. Many, many opinions. Everybody has their own way, but she now has heard something that is quite a bit different than what Dixie and Louise have told me. And I do think that we need to share that. So I will be right back after I bring the cookies out of the oven. Bye.